on today's episode of Hubris Syndrome, we're talking about Sekiro bosses. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I love boss fights. From Software loves boss fights. I love From Software. So let's talk about some of these bosses in Sekiro because they are some of the best in the biz, but I'm not doing it alone. Brad Ellis. Spoiler alert, everyone. We're talking about Sekiro bosses. Every single boss is on the table. So you've been warned. This is the final warning. Talking about bosses. Spoiler alert in 3, 2, 1. All right, you're in the spoiler zone now. I warned you. Roberto! Culmination, Brad. But we're going to back it up first.
Right.
Because I want to talk about my personal favorite, one of my favorite bosses now of all time. I'm willing to go there, Lady Butterfly.
Ooh.
First up, help me out.
Okay.
Give me the lore, dude. What's up with Lady Butterfly? All I know is she like trained Wolf at some point.
That's like what I'm aware of at this moment in time. She
Okay.
trained Wolf at a certain point in time.
Yeah.
Like when they have the showdown, they know each other.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, when she kills you,
She's like,
you're
you're a
just
young
a pup, dude.
young pup or something like that. Yeah. Very personal.
I love it, Brad, because there's freaking shadow clones.
Yep.
There's like just the where you do it.
Genjutsu.
There's genjutsu, dude. There's shadow clones.
Taijutsu.
Taijutsu. Some sick kunai.
Some wires she's walking on too, dude. Yeah. It's really cool.
And just the like how she kicks and stuff. When I got there, I was so caught off by the melee attacks. I wasn't sure if I could parry these things, block them. Just kept me off balance. And I also love it too because it's not too difficult. It's still a challenging fight, especially when you first get there. If you take the estate route like all the way.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I definitely like that fight. I think that's the first time they used like Genjutsu, kind of like the idea of like breaking illusion. I thought was super cool.
Yeah.
Like when Kuro's like in a Genjutsu when you first get up to him and like that. Then in the fight, she's like all those like weird things come over and you do the snap seed or whatever. It's just really cool, like a really cool mechanic that fits in with like what she is, which is a ninja.
Yeah. Then you can get her weapon too.
Like the shuriken like butterfly thing.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Yo,
It's good
also
stuff.
we're throwing out all these like Naruto parallels.
So many.
Quick shout out to paper bombs, dude. When a dude threw a paper bomb at me,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, what's your favorite?
So, I love a lot of boss fights in this game.
Yes,
My
yes.
favorite, though, is the final boss fight with Genichiro and Ishin, where it takes place in the field where you start the game off, pretty much, where you lose your arm.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that touch of like it all just coming back to this field right
Full
here.
circle.
And it feels like a fight to me. At first, it's a really daunting fight where you're like,
Intimidation.
I gotta fight Genichiro, then Ishin like 3 times after that, and
Yeah.
he's got lightning and everything.
Yeah.
It's one of those fights where you play it and you're like, this
Seems
feels
impossible.
hopeless at this time.
Yeah.
But you slowly just kind of chip away and you get better at it. You start to learn their moves, then you're cruising.
Cruising, yeah.
You're cruising. So
I wouldn't say cruising.
I
You're
beat this
cruising.
game.
I was
I've
not
beaten this game
cruising.
4 times, and by like the 3rd time I was in this, I was just like taking them down.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate this fight because it really emphasizes everything you've learned up throughout the entire game. Your Makiri counters, like their swordplay, using the lightning attack. Like I really appreciate that. Just super sick meaning, and I really, really love the final death blow you perform on him, where he gets down on his knees. He's like, "Do it!"
Yeah. Yes.
You just like cut him in the back, dude. He goes, and I was like,
Oh
oh my god, dude.
Especially when he comes out too, all demonic.
Just, like, out of him, yeah. He's like
James Wan
worthless
vibes.
grandson.
Yeah.
Orochimaru.
It is.
business, yeah.
Some reanimation jutsu.
But I just love that field, the whole setting, the whole encounter. It's just, oh, it's a rush, dude.
It was a rush. It was also, like you said, it was very daunting. I was so intimidated. The despair set in. I was like, am I gonna be able to beat this? Like, just kept at it, kept trying. And you find yourself getting further You know, sometimes you'll have a bad run.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get a couple of those in a row, but then it's like, all right, I got pretty far that time.
Yeah, I had like 5 Genichiros where I just died on the first phase. Like,
Yeah, totally. Sometimes I would perfect him. Sometimes I wouldn't.
Then you dial in and you become Neo.
Yeah.
And you can just see those parries in slow-mo.
You just see it.
Just like, bing, bing.
Ben Moore.
Sekiro!
Sekiro! Before I pick your brain and ask some of your favorite bosses or your favorite boss,
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Armored Warrior with you. Because this blew me away.
Yeah, it blew me away too. It was just something where I was like, what is that thing shambling on the bridge? Okay. And it was just kind of like a, you just turn off your brain and fight moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had like the big like bastard sword.
Yep.
It's like straight out the mountain.
Yeah, one of us isn't gonna make it.
Yeah. And I loved it too because it added this awesome element of like, all right, you got to death blow him off, which I thought was really cool. Like that's something I hadn't really seen.
Yep.
Cause I kind of got frustrated where like there were some other enemies where you would knock them off, but then you wouldn't get credit for the kill. Like I did that with one of the gun people, you know?
This gives you the satisfaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who is Roberto? His son or something?
Right, let your mind run wild. I don't know. I'm almost happier not knowing.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Like that guy.
Roberto is in your heart.
It is.
Yeah.
The Armored Warrior, like, he's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah.
Very special place.
In a game filled with good moments, it's a pretty memorable moment. Yeah.
All right, Ben, what's one of your favorites?
I don't know who the others have talked about, but
I talked about Lady Butterfly being my favorite of like ever, maybe. It just hit me so hard.
okay,
And
that
then
was the one I was going to talk about.
Yeah. Feel free if you want to. And then Brad talked about the final boss,
Okay.
which was soul crushing for me. My goodness.
So I'm just going to touch on Lady Butterfly.
Yes.
That was the moment I knew that I like cherished this game. It went beyond just like, oh, this is another good game. I really like this. It was a very special moment to me because it's just like I don't know. I can't remember the last time I went through like that many emotions in a battle. I guess there's a fight in DMC5 that made me do that. But this was different in the sense that like when I got through that first chunk of health, I felt like a champion.
Yeah.
And then what it asked of me, there's so many moments like this in Sekiro where I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, really? I have to do that now?
Again?
And
What?
I feel like that fight really taught me the game.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of all fell into place after that fight. And so it just felt like I climbed a mountain, got there, and it's like Lady Butterfly showed me the way.
Yeah.
She was my sensei.
Dude, when she like hops down and is sitting there, and she's like, "Oh, now it's real. Like now it's the real deal."
And that fight, man, like I was like, what if I just throw the shuriken while she's in the air? And it worked. And I was like,
yes,
I have to be creative with these tools. And that really blew my mind too. But the moment that I want to talk about, I was actually screaming at the television, is the ape fight. It was such a good troll. I think is underselling it, but it was maybe like one of the biggest oh my god moments in all of video games when you get that shinobi executed, pops on the screen again. You have that relief. You just kind of feel your body relax.
Yep.
And then it picks up its severed head and you go into round 2. And I was like, wow, if it was just that, the game, that would have been a moment I would have just shouted from the rooftops.
Yes.
But it doesn't stop. It keeps going and you fight 2 of them at the same time.
It's insane, like the movement is
Yes.
like, it rattled me so hard, Ben. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out.
I mean, in horror games, a lot of times things are designed to scare you, or things are meant to pop out, or the music, or whatever. You're totally right. Yeah. Just the way that thing moved was unsettling,
dude.
And the centipedes in its head. It was a nightmare.
It was.
But
it should have said Nightmare Slain. It really should have.
Yeah. I mean, we play a lot of games, right? We play so many games, and I feel like there are a lot of times I'm playing a new game, and it's like, oh, okay, I have to hit the thing 3 times. Or like, oh, okay, I have to hit its weak point. It's just you kind of fall into this rhythm with video games, and you know what to expect. And I just feel like it's so precious when something can not only surprise you, but make you just grab your head and go, what the fuck? And that was a what the fuck moment for me in a way that I have not felt in some time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And made me use the firecrackers. which I was like underutilizing.
I totally was, and I didn't use him in that fight
Oh,
either. Yeah.
The first phase, you just start throwing him out, and the ape is just like, rah!
There were definitely. It's frustrating because like after the Lady Butterfly fight, I was like, okay, I need to use things in creative ways, and like I still underutilized things. And the firecrackers were definitely one of them. Oh. As I got on through the game, I learned of their use, and yes, they're fantastic. Yeah. But it took me longer than it should have, for sure.
So long. So Damiani, I like to keep my guests off balance. I like to surprise them. So we're gonna start out. We're talking about Sekiro bosses, and just my love for bosses. But I want to know like the first non-From Software boss that pops into your head right now. Who do you love? One of your favorite bosses of any game not From Software.
So you bring up Sekiro and then you're not from that.
Yeah, anything not from that. We're gonna get to it. We're taking a little time out.
All right.
Just a Damiani boss that you love.
The Metal Gear Ray fight in Revengeance.
I knew you were gonna go Metal Gear. That was my guess. The Revengeance Ray fight.
Psycho Mantis is the best traditional boss fight in Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I've like talked about that like in the past so much.
Yeah.
But like Metal Gear Revengeance, like I really love those fights. And like Ray, it's not like a hard fight, but I mean, this shows like how insane this game is gonna be, how crazy things are gonna be, and like it makes you feel good. Like you're like this thing that's terrorized you. Metal Gears have terrorized you as like final bosses of the series, and then you're taking it on immediately and it's like slicing it up. No problem.
The Sam fight too.
Oh gosh. That like Jetstream Sam showdown. You're talking about the first or like
both.
Both are really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that showdown in the desert, so good. Talking about parries right there.
Dude.
Parrying.
All right, Damiani. Sekiro. Just talking about bosses. Give me one of your favorites so far. You're not done with the game, so I'm not gonna spoil anything or say about any of the other bosses we've talked about. But what is one of the bosses you love?
So the one you fight, was it Genichiro?
Yeah.
I'm
glad you said this one.
So like that, like that fight, the fact that like they teach you about like this like lightning maneuver right before, and you use that against them, and it looks like you. Like at least when I did it, it looked like I failed so bad the mechanic. But when you land, all of a sudden they're like shocked and stunned. I was like, whoa! It felt so good.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's the second part. But even the first part was just learning like how to counter some because these both can do the sword and the bow, and it's like and the roll-ins on you. It was
aggressive.
When
he uses the bow. Just blocking the bow feels so good.
So many things because like you think, oh, I'm gonna get away, I'm gonna heal. That long, strong charge one that like even if you like block, you're gonna lose so much poise.
You got me.
And then he jumps up and does that fast, rapid fire one, and you
got
like,
me so many times.
Yeah, like still couldn't learn from that. I was just like, I'm gonna hit a few times here. I'm so bad. Yeah. So good though to enjoy that.
When he lunges at you, I love the animation of him just lunging at you, and you Makiri counter, like step on the blade, satisfying every time.
And I love it how like that point you're used to them pushing you off after that.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting that satisfying kill. It's just like, no, get off me and stuff. But like it feels good because it's just like you still get to be like, I got you, dear.
Yeah.
Like you better back off and stuff. Like AI, you better be paying attention to my moves right now. And then like to follow that up, like the different ways you can counter the stuff in that and what it looks like when you do it. Yeah. And I felt like for me, as it went on, I was getting more aggressive against them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
get that confidence.
It was like I think it's like the do or die moment in that game where it's gonna click that just being, you don't always be defensive, like mix it up, be aggressive, parry, go in there, hit a few times, back off. Yeah. Like you keep that up, it like pays off so much more.
One of the tool tips, like when you're loading, it's like, yo, you got to attack and defend. It's like knowing that balance.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So good.
All right, Damiani.
Yep.
Give me one more. I can't leave without a little more Damiani.
Okay, I don't remember their name, but the one on the horse.
Dude! Yes. Damiani bringing the big guns. Yes.
Like just like burst through the gate. You're just like, what's this giant field? What weird beast is coming out? Yeah. And like, oh, go by the gate. And then like crash through. He goes, I know you're here. And I'm like, no, I'm hiding behind a corner. I'm like, he doesn't know I'm here. Rides right up to me. He's like, no, here it's going. I was like, oh no.
Using the grapple.
The grapple, like when they're doing, because that long swing, but also when it charges you sometimes, it does like the multi-attack. Yeah. I wasn't ready for that the first time. I was like, what are you doing? Just dragging me around. I was like, oh.
The spectacle of it, you know, I was talking to Brad, just like the feeling of despair, dude. This guy rides in on a horse, and I'm just like, can I beat this guy? Like, is this even possible?
I did like how it was a big field, so I could run around a lot, just to like, okay, just want to keep my distance where he's gonna charge, but like, I gotta buy some time. I need some breathing room, and like, just felt like a good arena for that. I don't know why, for like whatever one of the early trailers made it look like it was a more like tightly confined arena. So I was paranoid it was gonna be like a corridor or something. Nice field, nice battlefield. Nice battlefield. I went around to all the corpses, Hubert, and hit them because I thought there was like an assassin in there.
The paranoia, dude.
Well, the rats story, I like didn't know what they looked like yet, so I just learned like the hats and stuff. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna like kill everything and just be like it's safe. And they're like, no, you're wasting your time.
There's nothing there. So that's it for the episode. Thank you, Ben, Brad, and Damiani for getting down with some boss hype because it's just a treat. The adrenaline rush, just learning these rhythms and blocks and parries and attacks just feels so good. So many memorable boss fights from Sekiro. If you're out there struggling, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in all of you. If you're stuck on a boss, I believe in your abilities. You can do it. I'm at Michael P. Huber. Tweet me some boss hype if you got any from Sekiro or from software in general. Definitely the theme, but I will be back here next week talking about something. Hopefully some more bosses from some other games, but post in the comments about some Sekiro bosses. We'll go over them next week. I know I took last week off. I was under the weather. I was so sick, but now I'm like Android Frieza. I've come back stronger. Just gotta look out for Trunks. So he'll slice me up.